Hello and welcome to episode 83 of the Victorian Studio podcast. My name is Maureen and I'm coming to you as usual from my studio here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Welcome to all new and returning viewers. I hope you enjoy seeing what I have to share today. I first wanted to say thank you so much to Marlisha and Talia over at the Pen, Hook and Needles podcast. They always, every episode, mention not only mine but many other podcasters or groups in Ravelry, their current knit alongs. So they're always so very kind in doing that. So thank you very much, ladies. Speaking of Pen, Hook and Needles, they were very sweet to once again have me as a co-host for the Pen, Hook and Needles annual toy along. And if you've been here before, you know that we're in almost the end of the toy along. I can't believe it's only a few weeks left. This started October the 1st and runs until the end of December. And this is my fourth year co-hosting with the ladies over at Pen, Hook and Needles. So as usual, I've been having great fun seeing all of the wonderful projects that everybody's been contributing to that. And speaking of which, in my tradition that I usually do, let's take a look at all of those adorable toys that people have submitted since the last episode. So enjoy. Yeah, it's always so much fun to see all of those toys in a row. So thank you everyone who has been participating, not only in putting your works in progress and finished objects in that thread, but also all the wonderful chatter and support that you've been giving everybody. So it's been wonderful to see. So let's get to the prizes for the month of October and November. So what I did was I went to random.org and I chose 3 prizes to award today from posts number 2 to 235. So that's from October the 1st to November the 30th. So prize number 1 is the winner's choice of a charm from my Etsy shop, the Victorian Studio shop over on Etsy. So there's a link in the description box below, and of course there's links on Ravelry for that. So the winner can go over there and choose a progress keep or stitch marker of their choice, and I will send it off to you. And the winner is post number 232, and that's Rhonda Waipahu. I always have a problem pronouncing your Ravelry name, Rhonda. So congratulations. Take a look at my shop and see what charm you would like, and let me know and I'll send that off to you. And prize number 2 today is for a $10 US or less Ravelry giftable pattern, and the winner for that is post number 207, Jody Jodadiah. So congratulations, Jody. When you decide which pattern you would like me to gift to you, just PM me over in Ravelry and I'll make sure I get that out to you. And the last prize for the toy along today is for a teddy bear progress keeper that I made. I have 2 of these left to give away, one this month and one next month. So these are polymer clay charms that you can use either as stitch markers or as progress keepers. So there's the little guy there. And the winner of one of these goes to post number 127, And that's Rena Gale. So congratulations, Rena. If you would PM me over on Ravelry, please, with your mailing address, I'll make sure I get your teddy bear out to you. And speaking of prizes for the Toy Along, I was given a very nice gift from Marlisha from the Pen, Hook and Needles podcast that I will show you a little bit later. But in her package, she wrote me a very sweet note and mentioned in the note that she wanted to donate one skein of her yarn from her shop. That's the Lady Fernaco Creations on Etsy, and a link will be in the description box below. So the winner will be able to choose one skein up to $27 US for whatever is available in her shop at the time. So that prize is going to be put in for the end of the cal. We have one more prize drawing for the Toy Knit Along for all of the entries from October 1st to December 31st. So I will be doing that shortly after the new year. So along with the regular prizes that I've already put in our thread over in the Ravelry group, we will add that beautiful skein of yarn from Marlisha. So thank you so much, Marlisha. I just love your yarn. And as I said, I'm going to be showing a very special gift that she sent me recently. So thank you very much for donating that for a prize for the viewers of my podcast. And speaking of receiving a gift in the mail, while I remember, I also, the same day I got a gift from Marlisha, I also received a very special thank you card in the mail from her other daughter, not Talia, but Davina. I had sent them some little teddy bears as well. And if you watch their podcast, and if you haven't been, you should be. I always link their podcast in my description box below as well. So Davina also, I sent a Progress Keeper, a teddy bear, to her as well. And she sent me the sweetest card. And I won't read the card itself because that's personal. But I did want to show you what she drew. She's quite the artist herself. And she sent not only a very sweet note, but a piece of her art for me. So this wonderful dog that she sent in the cards. Isn't that great? Davina, thank you so much. I'm going to treasure this. You're always so very kind to send a very personal card as a thank you. So I really do appreciate it. And I love your artwork. I just love the dog, and you're very talented. So let's see. I think that's all we have to do for the Toy Knit Along. As I mentioned, we'll be continuing to have that thread open until December 31st. I probably won't lock that until I get up New Year's Day. So if you have something that you're finishing up and you want to make sure you get it into that knit along thread, make sure you get it completed by the end of the year, which is coming up so fast. I can't believe it. So let's see, the next knit along that's currently going on, of course, is the year-long Harry Potter knit along. And it's been wonderful to see everybody's participation in that. I just love all of the projects and chatter that's going on in there. And again, I'm going to have some prizes to award today. So these prizes are from entries from January right through to the end of November. And let's see, I have the winners here. So that's posts number 2 to 1,239. Again, I went to random.org to select these prizes, and we have 3 of them to award today. So prize number 1 is for one $10 US or less giftable Ravelry pattern, and the winner of that is post number 733, and that's Sylvie Miracara. So congratulations, Sylvie. When you choose a pattern that you would like me to gift to you, just send me a personal message or private message over on Ravelry, and I'll make sure I gift that to you. So congratulations. And prize number 2 is a sorting hat charm, and this I've made into a Progress Keeper. So that's the sorting hat. And this goes to post number 837, and that's Rachel, Zolu 107. So congratulations, Rachel. When you see this, PM me over on Ravelry with your mailing address, and I'll get that out in the mail to you. And the last prize to award today is for a platform 9 3/4 charm, and again as a progress keeper. So that goes to post number 1018, that's 1018, and that's Patty, Wombat Knitter. So congratulations, Patty. Again, would you please PM me with your mailing address, and I'll be sure to get your prize out to you. So that's it for the prizes for today. At the beginning of 2019, I'll be awarding the larger and final prizes for year 2 of the Harry Potter Knit Along. So that's very, very exciting. I can't believe how quickly the year went. As usual, huge thanks to Vonnie for all of her work in moderating all of the threads over in our group, but especially the knit alongs. I really do appreciate it, Vonnie. Thank you so very much. And after speaking with Vonnie, we have decided that there will be year 3 of the Harry Potter knit along. So we will not be closing the castle doors. They will remain open. So starting January 1st, 2019, we are going to have year 3 of the Harry Potter knit along. Yes, that's very exciting. So I hope if you're still not too tired of those Harry Potter related projects, that you'll continue to submit them to our group for more prizes coming up in 2019. I'm going to be shopping around for some more Harry Potter themed yarns and other items that I'll be making up as prizes for the knit along for next year. So it's very exciting, and I hope you can join us for year 3 in the castle. So let's get to the knitting. I don't have a huge amount of knitting. I've got 4 projects to share with you today. 2 of them I'm still working on, but 2 of them I have completed. So let's start with my works in progress. First of all, it's a scarf that I was working on for the OhLoops Harry Potter knit along this fall. I had started it on the 1st of November, and it was to be completed by the 30th of November, but I just didn't get it done. I think the requirements were 400 yards of yarn, and I just knew by about the last week of November that I wouldn't have had time to finish it. So it's now gone into tension, and hopefully if I can get it completed by the end of December, I can at least still get some points for Gryffindor House over there on the OhLoops knit along. But I knew that coming into November it was going to be kind of iffy to get too much done, because I was getting prepared for Black Friday for my shop, and I will talk about that a little bit later, but it did take the majority of my time, unfortunately, and so my knitting suffered as a consequence. But I think I got a little more completed than I showed you last episode. So I will show that to you. Now, this dragon's tail scarf is, I believe it's a free pattern on Ravelry. It's called Drachenschwanz, which is dragon's tail in, I believe, in German. And it's by Solveig Hopman, and it was translated by OMG Apples. So what I did was I just took her translation and retyped it out so that I could make my own chicken scratch notes on it. I don't know if you're like me. There's no way I could knit up anything, I don't think, without printing it off and checking it off as I go. I definitely always need to check off every row that I do, so that I keep on track. And for this project, I was to use OhLoops Yarn so that I could get extra points, or like be considered a seeker on the OhLoops knit along. But unfortunately, because I didn't get it done, that's gone by the wayside, but oh well. But I still love this OhLoops yarn that Lydia over at the OhLoops group has dyed up, and this is called A Wizard's Life. And this I got, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but it's 100% superwash merino, 490 yards. So I wanted to make sure that I chose something that had over 400 yards in it, so that I could get this the requirement of the 400 yards for this this project. So it's very similar to the, what is it called? I'll put it on the screen here, the scarf that everybody has done with the teeth, the Hitchhiker, Martina Bem's Hitchhiker, which I've done as well. But as you're knitting this, the rows get longer and longer, and it ends up curling quite a bit, which is kind of cool. I'll pop in a picture here showing it kind of laid out on the floor of my office. I took a picture of it one day so that you could see it, and it actually almost goes into a swirl pattern, which is kind of cool. So as I said, this has still got a fair ways to go. I'm not even sure how much I've done on this. I don't know if I'll get it done by the end of December. If not, oh well. Not a big deal. I'm not going to fret over that. But yeah, I do like how the yarn is knitting up. It's very easy. It's just a garter stitch with a couple of extra things to do every time you come to an end of a section to make those little teeth. But just with everything else that I've been doing, this unfortunately had to go by the wayside. So hopefully I'll get back to that. You know, if I don't before Christmas, well, in the new year, I guess. We shall see. The other project that I've been working on is something that I just started December the 1st, so that I could hopefully put it into some knit-alongs. I don't know if it will qualify. It may for OhLoops. I'm doing some gifts. And I was watching Lisa over at Fibernymph Dyeworks podcast. I always watch Lisa. I'll have her link to her podcast below. And she had a really good point. I don't know if it was last episode or a couple of episodes ago, that doing hats for gifts are a quick way to get some gifts done. And I don't think I've done, other than a couple for hubby, I haven't made any other hats. So I thought maybe I would try to get some hats done for some Christmas gifts this year. So this is the Heartland yarn, and it's acrylic. Is it 100% acrylic? Let's see. Yeah, 100% acrylic. It's very, very soft, but I love this. Almost like a hunter green color. It's called 180 Kings Canyon colorway. So it's really, really nice. It's so soft, and I thought being acrylic, it would allow the receiver of the gift not to worry about washing it. So I've probably got this about half done. So we'll see if I can actually get 3 of these done. But what's nice about this is the snow tracks pattern that I'm doing. Let's see. Again, I got it off of Ravelry. I can't remember if this was a paid-for pattern or not. But if you go to my project pages on Ravelry, it'll have a link to the pattern page. But the Snow Tracks cap is by Debbie Stoller. So it can either be a beanie type, or you can do the 2x2 rib extra long so that you can roll it up. And I always find that for our climate, having that extra length is good. So what I did was a 2x2 rib for about 3.5 inches. And then there's quite a bit of cabling. So I don't know if the cables are showing up too well. I'll have photos at the end also that may show it up a little bit better. But this is so soft and squishy. Hopefully I get it done for a Christmas gift. If not, well, then maybe it'll be my hat. And I'll think of something else for gifts for people. But yeah, I've been having fun doing that. So, you know, I still have, about 10 days or so. We're going to be celebrating our family Christmas dinner on the 23rd. So yeah, it is 10 days from now. Wow. Because it's hubby's birthday on the December 24th. And then we're going to be having a very quiet Christmas day, just hubby and myself. So I'm looking forward to that. And I definitely want to get some relaxation and knitting done that day. So that's the Snow Tracks hat that I'm doing. I call it the Snow Tracks toque because it is going to be a little bit longer and a rolled up brim of that hat. So those are what I'm working on right now. And as I said, I have 2 projects that I finished. One of them you've seen before, obviously, is the Gryffindor house scarf. And that is in my big Harry Potter bag that I made. And this I was using Alison Hansel's, what is it called? I didn't bring it here. Charmed Knits book. I can see it across the room here. I've shown it many times before. So this pattern was for the years 1 and 2 house scarf. And so when I was near finishing it up, I was looking online to see how movie accurate I could get. And it's interesting, I noticed in some photos of them wearing the scarves, there are no tassels on the scarf. And I believe that was year 1. And it looks like year 2, they've added tassels. So far I've made it without tassels, and I'll decide whether I'm going to add the tassels onto it. I may, but I can call it completed now. So for this project, I've been using Knit Picks yarn. This is leftover yarn that I got for my Gryffindor Quidditch sweater. So this has been great. This is Wool of the Andes in Garnet Heather and Golden Heather. So I still have plenty of this left. So there may be, well, there's plenty for tassels, but I think I have enough to even maybe make some mitts or something else Gryffindor colors. So I can never have too much Gryffindor. So this is finally done. So as you can see, it's the design from the first couple of Harry Potter movies. And it is about, I would say, at least 5 feet long. But again, what I might do the tassels on either end, but it is plenty long enough. Basically, it's just stockinette stitch, knit in the round, so it was really easy to do. I was just changing colors every about 4 inches. I wasn't even counting rows. I was just basically, I measured the first couple of sections, and then from then on just use those to match up how long each section should be before I switch colors again. So this is great to have this finally done, and now I can enter this into the OhLoops Harry Potter knit along for a year 3, I think it is, visits to Hogsmeade, so I can get points for Gryffindor House for this. So that's wonderful to have that off the needles. And as I said, if I want to, I may add tassels. And if I do, I'll show it on the next episode as well. And so the final project that I wanted to share with you today is something I just finished a few days ago. Each year for the Toy Along, not only do I co-host, but I also try to make at least one toy to participate in the Pinhook and Needles annual Toy Along. And if you've been watching the podcast for a while, you may remember that last year I did a little Santa mouse. And this year I did a Santa polar bear. So he's significantly bigger than the mouse, but kind of along the same theme. So I finished this guy a couple of days ago. The last episode, I think I showed that he had, I had completed his body and his pants, and he had little suspenders on there. So I still had yet to do his jacket and his belt. So I will show that to you in a few minutes. I was using a pattern that I got. Now I believe this is a paid-for pattern on Ravelry, just called Polar Bear by Amanda Berry. And this cute little guy doesn't have a lot of projects associated with this pattern, probably because it is instructed to knit flat. I did knit some of it in the round, though. I did change it up a little bit. And I used a variety of different yarns for him, so I had to change the stitch count a little bit because I wasn't using the required or suggested yarns. So what I used for his body was some undyed wool that I got from Knit Picks to dye up. I had dyed this up previously for, I believe, for Hedwig that I had done one year, and this is their Imagination. So this is the Bear Imagination, and it is fingering weight 50% merino, 25% superfine alpaca, and 25% nylon. So it is a very light yarn. So I was just using US 1.5 or 2.5 millimeter needles to create the body. And then I just used some scrap yarn. I believe this is Cascade 220 that I used for his nose and mouth. And then for his Santa suit, I use this Fernaco Fiora because I love this deep red so much. And this is, let's see, this is a cotton viscose blend. It's 40% cotton, 30% viscose, 15% alpaca, 10% nylon, and 5% wool. So yeah, it's quite different than everything else that I'm using. So again, I had to adjust the numbers that they had in the pattern. And what I wanted to do to create the furry edge of his, or you know, the at the feet and the arms and around the jacket, the kind of the faux fur that Santa has, I use some of this Rowan yarn. So this is the Boucle, British Sheep Breeds Boucle. It says 100% British wool. So yeah, this was always very interesting to knit with. This was one of the first yarns I learned to knit in the round with. I remember buying this at Wolseley Wool to do a lamb because I didn't know how to knit in the round. So this is what I chose. Probably not the best thing to choose when you're first learning to knit something. So I had a little bit of this left, and it is challenging to knit with, but I love the effect that I got with this. And let's see, the only other thing that I added was a little gold belt buckle, still using my Spark Sock Dreams in Fiber Golden Snitch colorway by Erica Luder. So I just love this yarn, I still have this and pull out at any time I need something sparkly and gold. So with all that said, I can finally show you this guy. I have used some safety eyes for him, and the rest is all knit, so he is all done. So this was a lot of fun to do. So he has a little hood on his jacket, and the belt, I didn't follow the pattern. All I did was an I-cord, a 5-stitch I-cord, and then I embroidered the belt buckle on that. But yeah, I had to change up some of the stitch counts. I did the arms in the round, or the sleeves of the jacket in the round. But yeah, other than that, you know, I used the pattern as a basic guide, so I was very pleased with it. So you know, if you ever want to try to make a little polar bear Santa, I would recommend that pattern. It was very well written, but you know, if you're not into fiddly with a lot of seams, you could probably change it up if you've done a lot of toys to do you know, a lot of it in the round if you don't want to do so much seaming. So yeah, so that's my little polar bear Santa for this year, and I submitted him to the Pinhook and Needles toy along as well. So again, lots of fun to do toys. I always love doing them, so I'm so glad that I was able to find time to get him completed for this year. Okay, so now that that's all the knitting that I have to share with you, I thought I would also show you some of the other things that I've been up to. One of the things that I'm participating in over in the OhLoops Harry Potter knit along this year is an Advent swap, and I was paired up with Amy, that's Jarmuz, over on Ravelry and Instagram. She's a Hufflepuff, and we got together to be swap partners. So we exchanged big parcels. Let's see, it was at the end of October, I believe, we were actually doing this. And starting December the 1st, we were to open one gift each day. So we have them numbered from 1 to 24, and then a final gift for Christmas Day, so for Advent. So it's been a lot of fun opening these up. And if you follow me on Instagram, I have my link below of my username on Instagram if you aren't following. But if you are, you've been seeing that I've been trying to post every day or so with what Amy has sent me that day. So it's been a lot of fun. So I thought I would just show you a few of the items that I've received so far. So I've opened up to day 12. I haven't opened up today's day 13 yet, but I'll show you that the next episode, the last half of the Advent gifts that she has sent me. So far, I have been putting her gifts in a box here because it's getting to be quite a bit. First of all, she sent me the cutest little card of a cat, so I just love that. We both are cat owners. We both have 2 cats, and even our cats swapped gifts back and forth. So that was really funny because one of the gifts that we swapped each other was the identical little toy mouse for each of our cats. So that was hilarious. We chose the exact same gift to give each other to our cats. So that was really funny. So she knows that I love Hedwig in Harry Potter. So you'll see that has influenced a few of the gifts that she's given me, as well as a few other things that I do love, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and those kind of things. So when you start the swap, you are given a questionnaire, so the person kind of gets to know you and can choose things that are appropriate that your swap partner will enjoy. So I hope she's enjoying what I've sent her so far, and I know that I've loved getting what she has chosen for me. So some of those things include, as I said, she knows that I love Rudolph, and this beautiful little notions pouch. She chose the fabric, and one of her knit group friends sewed this up for me. And it's so beautiful with a little stocking charm. And yeah, this is going to be great. The person that made this is Steel City Stitcher, Roberta Freund. So that is her shop. I will try to remember to link that in the description box below. And she also sent a matching DPN holder, so that's awesome. And now that I've shown you, I can actually use these now. I didn't want to use them until I showed them on the podcast. Let's see. Of course, because she knows I love owls, this heat pad with an owl on it. And let's see. Oh, a notepad with a cat. We are both cat lovers. And when I put this on Instagram, some of my followers had a chuckle because I said, no, it's not a tribble. It's a pom-pom for a hat. And I've never put a faux fur pom-pom on a hat for myself yet. So I am really looking forward to, after Christmas, knitting myself up a hat. Or it might even, if I don't get that other hat done in time, maybe this will end up on that. But yeah, I love this. It looks like a tribble. That's what I had people laughing about, because I said, no, it's not a tribble. It's a pom-pom. So that is very cool. Let's see. Of course, she spoiled me with a bunch of candies, which some of them, unfortunately, are already gone. But again, more owl themed items, and this is perfect for our tree. I have all kinds of birds and pine cones on our Christmas tree, so this fits in there just perfectly. So a cute little owl for our Christmas tree. Let's see. As I said, some of the candies have gone already. She sent me some Jelly Belly jelly beans and some other goodies that I've been trying to keep away from hubby. Chocolate covered pretzels, s'mores, and she said, I believe that these are made just near to where she lives, so that's very cool. Love getting that local flavor. Let's see here. Oh, and she knows I had put down that I love dark chocolate, so I haven't eaten this one yet. Awesome. Let's see, some other Ghirardelli chocolates, which is so great. And these are wonderful. A needle runs through it, knitting accessories. These stitch markers that are all owls, and they're wooden. They're just beautiful, so I highly wait to start using those. Really lovely. And I'll try to include the photos that I've uploaded to Instagram. I'll try to remember to put them at the end of the podcast as well. And each one of her packages has a stitch marker on it. And one of her friends made these up for her just for the swap to send to me. And this is awesome. Each package has a number on it in a stitch marker. So I've been putting them on the ring, and in the pictures you'll see that each day is marked with the latest stitch marker added on to the group. So yeah, we're up to 12 here. I'll be opening up 13 after I record today. And also she sent me such a nice thoughtful gift, and this is her favorite cookie recipe. So it's awesome. She sent on recipe cards, and so I can hardly wait to make this using this Black Cat cookie cutter. So I said it reminds me of my Black Cat Dakota. So I definitely want to try her sugar cookie recipe and cutting out some cats for that. So thank you so much, Amy. Every day is so much fun to see what you've chosen next. So as I said, we're only halfway through, so I can hardly wait to see what other surprises you have for me. And I hope you're enjoying what I chose for you just as much as I'm enjoying what you sent me. A lot of fun. And for participating in the Knit Along swap, the Advent swap, over at OhLoops, we're getting points for our houses too. So that's even more of a bonus that way. So the other mail that I received since the last episode, as I mentioned earlier, was a very sweet, unexpected parcel from Marlisha from Penhook and Needles. She sent me some of her beautiful yarn from her shop. And this is the Lady Fernaco Creation Shop. I was very honored to draw the logo on her shop. So that's my logo on her ball band. It's so cool to see. But this beautiful fingering sock skein is called Silver Bells. Isn't that incredible? This is 600 yards, and I'm going to have to decide on something very special to use this in. It's 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. So it's just incredible. Marlisha, thank you so much. It is very, very beautiful, and I hope I choose a project to do it justice. So yeah, it's just incredible. Wow, it's like Christmas already with all of these gifts. So I think that's all of, oh, there was one other thing I wanted to show you. When I was first doing the OhLoops knit-along, the Harry Potter knit-along, if you ordered a prefect package, I think I've done 2 of them, or maybe 1, and then I think I got a gift from a swap partner. What was included in the prefect package is some tea that's specific to the Harry Potter house that you were in. So I still had some of this tea, and I was drinking it lately. I was making a habit of when I get home from work. Hubby still works a little bit after I get home first. So in that time between my getting home and him getting home, I usually would brew myself up a cup of tea. And then I'd come in here and do some work, either on charms or knitting or whatever. So I was finally getting to this tea that I got from the OhLoops Harry Potter knit-along. And this was called Gryffindor. And it was delicious. So what I decided to do, I had 2 packages of this. So before I finished them up, I looked up the Forest Witch, who is the person that Lydia got this tea from, and looked her up on Etsy and put in an order for myself. So this is her card. It's kind of hard to see. I will put a link in the description box, but she is called the Forest Witch, and she is from Ontario, Canada. So that was awesome. I wanted to make sure that I supported another Canadian maker, and decided to order some more. So I ordered 2 more of the Gryffindor house, but instead of it being called Gryffindor, if you can see on the label there, I guess she has decided not to make sure that you don't have copyright problems. She now calls it the House of Lion, but it's the same tea. So she has teas for not only Harry Potter, but all kinds of things that are all, you know, kind of geeky pursuits. So if you check her Etsy shop out, I'm sure you'll get a kick out of it. There's like Game of Thrones references and other kinds of references. I think Pokemon and all of that. So so I got 2 of the Gryffindor house teas, and they are just delicious. I love them. So I got those, but also wanted to try something that I hadn't tried before that she had there. It was called buttered beer. So obviously a reference to butterbeer in the Harry Potter universe, and I can't wait to try this out. So it's a butterscotch spiced tea, so I can hardly wait to try out that one as well. So yeah, if you're interested in getting some geeky themed teas from a Canadian maker, check out the description box below for a link to her shop. I'd highly recommend it. The Gryffindor tea is absolutely wonderful. So, speaking of Etsy shops, I guess the last thing that I wanted to talk about today was my own shop. First, I wanted to thank anybody who's watching who did partake in the Black Friday through to Cyber Monday sale. I sold more charms in those few days than I've ever have. So that was wonderful. Thank you to anyone who has purchased from this shop. I really do appreciate it. It was great to be able to send my charms all over the world. I had orders from Europe, Australia, the US, Canada, and even Japan. So that is so cool to know that my works are worldwide now. So that was wonderful. So thank you to anyone who has purchased from my shop. I really do appreciate it. So right now, let's see my notes here. I have a special going on right now that with any order of $50 Canadian or more, that's about $38 US, there's free worldwide shipping. So if you're looking at treating yourself either before or maybe after Christmas, if you'd like to, after you've given to other people, you want to treat yourself, I'll have that special up for a little while over in the shop. And I was just going to show you as a last thing a few of the new items that I've put in the shop recently. And I've got a few ideas for some more items, so I really want to stock the shop with some new items. I've been doing a lot of restocking as well, so you'll see at the end some photos of some of the work that I've been doing, making up more donuts and muffins and things like that. So I find doing them in huge batches so much easier. But while doing the donuts that I was restocking, the glazed chocolate donuts, the strawberry donuts, the sprinkle donuts, and the sugar-coated ones, I decided to also try a new one, and that's some toasted coconut donuts. So I have quite a few here, and these have, they have, you know, they're colored on two sides. One side is plain and the other side has a frosting with the fake coconut on the top of that. So those come in both silver tone and gold tone. So those are up in the shop right now. So those are something new to the shop. And the other thing that's new in the shop right now is some Reese's, well, they aren't Reese's, I really can't say Reese's, but they're peanut butter cups. And so I did a few of these. I wanted to do these for a while, so it was fun to get these finally up and going in the shop. So those are great fun. I know I love partaking of these not only at Halloween, but that's probably the time I have these the most. So I think that's what inspired me, was having all those minis at Halloween. But these are even more miniature. So these are kind of fun in a progress keeper as well. And again, my charms have not only the lobster clasp, so you can use them as a progress keeper or a stitch holder, say a drop stitch, but they also have a couple of rings, so you can use them just over your needles, just as stitch markers as well. So the final ones that I've made, I haven't put in the shop yet, and I hope to do that after I record, is some curling rocks. Now, if you're not Canadian, you may not really know too much about the sport of curling, but my sister does curl in a league. I used to curl many, many years ago, and our team actually came in fourth in the whole province the one year that I was curling in high school. Many, many years ago, but I curled with some of the people who have gone on now to be world champions. So Winnipeg has and Manitoba has a real history of professional curlers that have won multiple Olympics and that kind of thing. So curling's kind of big in Canada. So at first I wasn't too sure if I was going to put these on my Etsy shop, because I know it is something that a lot of people don't know about, but maybe if some other Canadians want to have a little curling rock on their knitting. I did 3 different colors of rocks. So these were kind of fun to create. I did these for my sister. She had requested them, so I did a few for her, and then I of course made some extra to sell either in the shop, or I thought maybe if I don't put them in the shop, I would save them for local shows. You know, maybe more local people would want something like this. But these were a lot of fun to create as well. So yeah, brought back a lot of memories of curling from many, many years ago. So I think that's all I have to share with you today. I won't be recording again until the new year, so probably about the first week of January. I'll wait until both knit-alongs threads are locked and I can draw for the final prizes in the toy knit-along and year 2 of Harry Potter. But starting January 1st, I will start a new thread for year 3 of Harry Potter. So if you don't get your projects in by the end of the year, why not put them in January? I'll again be awarding prizes every month and then every quarter larger prizes for that knit-along. So we'll do it again for the entire year of 2019. So I hope you can join us if you're into anything Harry Potter related. So it's pretty wide open on what your choices can be, and all the rules and regulations will be in the new thread come January 1st. So I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday season. I hope you get to relax and do lots of whatever you enjoy doing, be it knitting or sculpting or painting or just relaxing, maybe cooking, but I hope you can spend time with family and friends and have a wonderful holiday season. So until I see you in the new year, take care everyone, and Happy New Year as well. So we'll see you then in 2019. Thank you again for popping by, and we'll see you in January. Bye-bye.